concerned with the work that the FCC has done in this space, broadly speaking? I know that there's been efforts by your peers at the agency to make it easier for companies to situate their small cells, the small boxes that transmit those signals. They've done so in a way that's perhaps made it easier to clear environmental review or to deal with historical sites. Do you think that the FCC has, kind of grown 5G at the expense, perhaps, of some of these cities?
Yeah, there are a couple. That is one of the real concerns that I have had with the way 5G has rolled out, is the way that some of the localities that are the folks that are really going to have to see how it impacts their communities, how the FCC, through the preemption, really kind of steamrolled some of those localities, and that is pending before the Ninth Circuit right now, whether our preemption is going to hold up. The other couple concerns that I'll share really quickly is, as we're talking about a world with 5G and more devices coming on further and further online, I think I would be remiss not to raise privacy concerns. We are talking about an explosion of devices that is going to come on to the Internet of Things. And it is a piece that the FCC has a bit of a lane of. Other folks, the FTC obviously has a lane, and I think Congress is starting to think through the broader lanes that have to play out here. But the amount of data that is going to be coursing through all of these devices is something that we're going to need to be very intentional about how data is handled, how it's managed, how it's secured. And then, of course, as we see a lot of places, including the Washington Post reporting on this, we need to figure out how a lot of this is being monetized and making sure that we're being thoughtful about that. Really,
what would you propose there, by the way? Not to interrupt you, but what would you propose the government do in response to those privacy concerns you just illustrated?
Yeah, I think, I personally think that when you go, I think about this from the telecom perspective. When you go and get your, when you go to your, whoever your mobile provider is, I think all of us expect when you sign up to get your phone that you are going to get a phone that is going to, in some senses, you may not think about it this way, but it is a tracking device, right? The phone is expected to ping the cell networks every 5 seconds so that a call gets to you, so that text messages get to you. And so, God forbid, you ended up where you needed to call 911, you're going to be able to make a call that is going to get to you. But what we have seen is that a lot of folks have otherwise taken, in particular, geolocation data that is on your phone, and they are tracking that data, collecting that data, mining that data, and cutting it up and monetizing that data. And so I think there is a mismatch between what people think they're signing up for and what ultimately is otherwise getting delivered back to some of those companies, and I think we need to be a little bit more thoughtful on how we think about that.